Today, we'll go through some tips that can change the way you approach eating out, grocery shopping, and food buying in general. Here are 5 simple and effective ways to stop spending money on food. Stick to your grocery list.
The first is to start by studying at home. Just give yourself 5 minutes to browse the weekly ad or a website or app like Crazy Coupon Lady.
Grocery shopping with an intentional list may be crucial, but sticking to that list is even more important. Convince yourself not to purchase anything extra that isn't mentioned on your list of essential items for the week or month. If you find it hard to avoid impulse purchases, try to ignore certain areas in the grocery store, such as the snack aisle, where you know you'd have trouble sticking to the list. It may be difficult at first, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. Consider buying in bulk.
Number 1 is in regards to groceries, and that tip is to buy in bulk.
When it comes to staple items, buying in bulk is always a great idea. Opting for bigger packages means that you'll be charged a lesser amount per unit, instead of paying for the extra packaging along with the actual food item. In other words, when you buy in bulk, you're only purchasing what you need. The amount saved may seem small at first, but it adds up rapidly. Also, since you won't be running out of that particular food item as quickly as before, there won't be as many unexpected trips to the grocery store, which will further prevent impulse buys and help you save even more money. Foods that are safe to buy in bulk include rice, oats, dried beans, lentils, pasta, grains, and beverages that are safe to store at room temperature. Whereas food items like meat and poultry, fresh produce, milk, eggs, cooking oil, and coffee beans shouldn't be bought in bulk. Eat before you shop.
Plan the things that you're buying around what's on sale, and then stockpile. Instead of just buying one item, when pasta goes on sale 99 cents a box.
This is another effective tip related to grocery shopping. Going to a grocery store on an empty stomach is a recipe for impulse purchases and wasting money on unnecessary food items. According to a 2015 study, hungry shoppers spent 60% more on grocery items than less hungry customers. Another study showed that hungry shoppers are more likely to add unhealthy and often expensive foods to their carts, and have a harder time resisting items that they don't need in their pantry. So it's always recommended to grab a bite before you leave for the grocery store. Make sure it's a meal rich in protein and fiber, such as a cup of veggies with hummus, that can keep you satisfied at least for an hour or two. Schedule eat-out days.
It is so nice to buy those convenient, vacuum-sealed, nice and dainty, pre-chopped, whatever it is.
Did you know that the average American household spends about $3,500 on eating out every year? Even then, it's hard for most people to simply curb their habit of dining out excessively. Well, the good news is you don't have to stop eating at restaurants altogether. Going from one extreme to another is hardly ever helpful, and chances are depriving yourself would only act as a temporary fix and not a long-term solution. So instead of completely going cold turkey, try setting designated days to eat out. When you schedule specific days to eat out, you'll still get to enjoy a meal in your favorite restaurant without overspending during the month. Also, make sure to check out eateries that are offering deals and discounts, and opt for those places instead of the ones you know would cost more. Another useful tip in this regard is to tally your eating out expenditure every month, because we know that tracking your spending is one of the most essential rules of personal finance. According to Bobby Hoyt, founder and owner of Millennial Money Man, it's always recommended to read your credit card statements every month to make sure you aren't spending more than you realize on eating out. Plan your meals. Planning your meals in advance is the cornerstone of spending less on food. According to personal finance experts and savvy chefs, it's not only a helpful strategy to reduce your monthly expenses and lighten the burden on your wallet, but also an effective way to prevent food wastage. With meal prep, you'll know exactly what you'll be eating in advance, which reduces the chances of impulsively ordering meals online or randomly ending up in drive-thrus, because you didn't have the time or energy to prepare a meal from scratch. Planning your weekly meals will also help you cut down on unnecessary grocery items, since you'll know exactly what ingredients you need, and with breakfast, lunch, and dinner already planned and prepared, you'd be more inclined toward eating at home. But you don't need to be a Michelin star chef to practice this tip. Meal prep doesn't have to be too complicated either. Start with a few days worth of planned meals, and then repeat the same for the next few days. Make easy staples like rice, lentils, and hard-boiled eggs in advance, and use them in multiple meals. Also, keep low-cost dried goods like pasta and beans in your pantry. These can be quickly turned into a delicious lunch or dinner using any of the easy recipes available online. You can also prepare a larger batch at once or double the recipe so that dinner leftovers can be used for lunch the next day. These were the 5 ways you can spend less money on food. These tips prove that eating well doesn't always have to be so expensive, and you can actually consume nutritious and fulfilling meals without breaking the bank.